something with line 125. Is there any accountability for the institution on the results from those tests as there is for a public school?
The results are turned in. In fact, after the third year, all these results are published on the website. I'm not sure.
Turning the results in is not accountability. Accountability means that there's some consequence if you don't meet a certain standard.
There isn't anything built into the legislation from the state perspective. I mean, I think some would argue that if a parent is getting poor results on their test, that it's up to that parent to make a different decision for that child if it's not working. But one of the things that is complicated when we talk about testing and academic accountability, I think the reason that parents decide to use any number of options, be it online or homeschool or a private school in this case, could vary. Some of them might be academic, and sometimes it may be something else. If a child left a traditional public school to go to a private school because of a bullying case, or if they need an online education to meet a different need, be it some sort of, we have examples of high-achieving athletes or musicians that are pursuing Olympic careers perhaps, but they need an alternative school schedule. So there may be reasons outside of academics that a parent chooses. And I don't know that we, as you know, in the state regulations wanted to come in and say, if it's not exactly this or that, then you've got to go somewhere else. At the same time, I think most parents are seeking a good education for their child if they're engaged in this program. And if the results were proving that they weren't receiving that education, they would be inclined to seek something else.
Yeah, I mean, I'll use myself as an example. If you look at my children, it was not one or the other. There were years of this, and then because of decisions we made, then they would switch schools to another one because we were taking that active role, and we felt like that they were either were or were not getting that. Now, I'm all for putting whatever we need to from an accountability standpoint.
Well, you know, maybe my experience is different than yours, but in my time as an administrator and a teacher in a school system, we had a very good private school in our community, and several in Chattanooga that folks sent their kids to, and that's fine. I don't have a problem with that at all. But we also had several other little small private schools that they would gain accreditation through some agency. Now, what that accreditation was worth would be another debate. But under the terms of this, there's no real accountability from the state in terms of we're investing state dollars in wherever they're getting that education. There are some little private schools out there that, I'm sorry, that they're not quality in any way, shape, or form, and yet parents still put their kids in those. So, I mean, we need to be careful that we don't overestimate what parents are going to do.
Mr. Chairman, help us write the language that covers what you need. I would also say there's some public schools out there. If you look at the product that comes out of the public schools.
Absolutely.
So I think there's accountability on.
But we specify what accrediting agencies are valid for the state's purposes. That would be one step in qualifying who gets those dollars.
I'm here to have a public discussion on the merits of this concept.
That's what I'm just giving you a suggestion.
And those are the types of things, if that's what we need to do to strengthen this, I'm very open to doing that.